All right, next I want to talk about assignment 2.05 thesis statements. All right, and this assignment is building on one of the graphic organizers that you used for 2.04. Okay, so again, in English, these things are building on top of each other. So you need to make sure that you, first of all, do the assignment correctly, all right, and fully so that you have it to build on to the next step. Okay, so I just want to take you back to 2.04 for a second. All right. And you submitted or should have submitted two different graphic organizers. So again, we're looking at 2.04 for the purposes of 2.05. All right. So you selected one of these topics. All right. And then you did part one and part two graphic organizer. Okay. So for your part one graphic organizer, this is what you're going to use for 2.05, and you are simply going to add a thesis statement after you review the central ideas of all of those. Okay, so again, you are going to be using the graphic organizer that you did in 2.04, the first one, for assignment 2.05 when it comes to your thesis. Okay, so let's click on the thesis statement lesson. I would say most of you probably are aware of what a thesis statement is, but just to review, we'll take a look at that in a second, okay? So again, at the beginning of the lesson, you're going to write a thesis statement is going to be the assignment for 2.05, all right? But you're going to add it to your research graphic organizer, again, the one that you completed in 2.04 that looks like this, okay? So essentially, you're just going to add the thesis statement onto that. Um, so it's going to be like your claim, all right, dealing with the evidence that you found. Okay, so what is a thesis statement? All right, some people like to write thesis paragraphs. All right, a thesis statement is one sentence summary of what it is that you are writing about. Okay, so it's going to be your claim, the point that you are trying to make, all right, dealing with the research that you have found. Okay, so one sentence, again, um, claiming how you feel about your topic, your chosen topic. All right, so as you write the thesis statement, it's going to be in your introductory paragraph. We English teachers usually like for your thesis statement to be the last sentence in that introductory paragraph. Okay, so that is letting the reader know what is coming next and what's going to be presented in order. Um, okay, in the body paragraphs. So the thesis statement, if you don't have a thesis statement, you have no foundation for your essay. So your writing is probably going to be kind of going all over the place if you have not established a thesis statement. So you need to have that first. Okay. All right, so make sure that you watch this video, all right, or read the text version. And it's going to give you some examples, all right. So take a look at that, work through those things. It's going to give you some thesis statement practice. All right, and then we come to the actual assignment. All right, so again, you're going to write a thesis statement about the effectiveness of advertising and is it ethical? All right. And you're going to add it to your research graphic organizer. All right. So if you already have this and you did it properly from 2.04, you are simply just adding your thesis statement, all right, about the effectiveness of advertising to teens as well as the ethical. Is it ethical? Okay, so don't forget that ethical part as well. Don't use I think, I feel, I believe. Keep I out of it. All right, just state it. It's stronger that way. So let's take a look at your grading rubric. All right. So again, all you are doing is crafting a nice sentence, all right, where you are stating your claim on the effectiveness and ethics in advertising to teenagers. All right. So if you were going to write this informative piece where you're talking about the effectiveness and the ethics of advertising to teenagers, what would be your claim? So one sentence. Again, do not use I. Don't say I think, I feel, I believe. Just state it. And spelling and grammar, it is English class, folks. All right. So it needs to be a complete sentence, proper capitalization, spelling, grammar. All right. So again, you are just adding on to the graphic organizer that you already have. All right. So looking at the central idea of those articles that you linked from 2.04, and what is your thesis if you were going to use those articles, all right, as support. All right, what is your thesis? What is your claim? All right, and make sure that you submit that in 2.05, and that is thesis statement.